Well, we had us a breakdown. That's why we haven't been posting any videos. As you can see, I totally tore down my machine and getting ready to clean, service, whatnot. It's a mess. Lots of junk. Anyways, we had us a breakdown on our steering servo. Surprisingly, Trx-4, right? Anyways, when I bought the truck, a buddy of mine installed this, so I'm actually going with Protec. So anyways, it's the inside of the servo, which this is only a 400 ounce of torque, or 400 ounce of torque servo here. And anyways, let's get to the piece here. Oh, the gears kind of meshed himself back together. Would you look at that? Anyways, let's see if we get a good right there. And I'm telling you, you would think that just that one tooth being gone wouldn't be such a big issue. But let me tell you, that thing will stop the truck dead in its tracks trying to steer. So yeah, they do make a rebuild kit for this Trx-4 for any of you that preferred use of the Trx-4. They do make a rebuild kit for this guy. But I'm not gonna. I might rebuild it just to have a spare for the Mrs. Gen 8. Anyways, but yeah. Anyways, she's needing a clean overhaul. The old axles need a good clean and do over here. Sure, the diff fluid's getting pretty low. I did seal these guys, so everything's sealed up, running fluid. That one's leaking. The rear's leaking. That's not a big deal. It's probably coming right out of the bearing there. That's normal. Everything else about it's sealed. Well, except for that bearing. That bearing seal must be out. I got sealed bearings too, so well, maybe it's just coming out the shaft. Maybe the bearings are fine, but try to keep that diff fluid at a good level. It's a high maintenance truck. I don't mind tearing it apart and putting it back together. As you can tell, plan on going thinking blue with these frame rails here. That'd be cool. Everything really just needs a bath. The shocks need to be gone through. I'm noticing with these desert lizards, they kind of leak, and a lot of guys on a couple of things I follow say to run them upside down, but I kind of like them right side up. So I guess as much as I tear this thing apart, I don't mind if they leak out a little bit. The only thing that one don't sound as bad. Some of these will sound like they got some air to them. That one's got a little, oh yep, there she is. You can hear the air. That one's definitely leaking, which I'm thinking maybe because it rubs, you know, it starts taking that coating off. It rubs it to where, you know, it gets that spot to where it just lets out a little bit of fluid, which, like I said, the way I drive this thing and how much I have it apart, I don't mind it. You know, it's almost after every time I use it, I'm tearing something apart, just checking something out. Transmission, the skid plate, obviously we are running a transmission fluid. Well, a certain type of transmission fluid. It's really thick, and I sealed up the tranny as best as I could, but it seems to like to leak out right where it shifts and a little bit out of the T-case back here. Not so much right here. I think this is all coming from the T-case because yeah, it's not a big deal, you know, that the seal, so it's probably the oil coming from the T-case, which really I can't really fill that up without popping this back plate off, 3 bolts. The top here, I drilled and tapped a little seal that came with some diff covers, so I could check the fluid and put as it needs. Surprisingly, the front doesn't leak, which find that kind of weird, but that fluid definitely is carrying through into the T case. So, you know, there's no lack of lubrication. I mean, there is no sound of slop. Nothing. No clanking, no nothing. It's Lucas. Everything about the truck has Lucas. The diffs, tranny, it's all diff. It's all diff fluid except for the tranny. The tranny is also, it's actually Lucas transmission fluid. Just that that additive. It's thick, stays in there well, keeps everything lubed. And if y'all been to AutoZone and seen them little gear things on the counter there, you can see how Lucas just sticks to the gears. So that's why I was, alright, well, we'll run that. I have tried the marine grease in the past. I find my transmission gets hot because of a lot of friction because of the grease. This thing does not get that hot anymore since I started running the transmission fluid, because there's less friction. The gears are grabbing each other. Everything's staying tight. Less likely to strip out the gears in that guy. I'm still running obviously a plastic. I got a, oh, it looks like that slipper clutch eliminator plate kind of shifted in there a little bit. No big deal. It looks like it's still grabbing each corner. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. Anyways, the main reason I blew out that servo is these big monster tires here. I do have, well, they're on the wife's truck, but anyways, I have a regular, this is a 1.9 rim and a 1.9 tire. This is a 1.9 rim, 1.9 tire. And everybody's familiar with these guys. Can't go wrong, right? Yeah. That servo was having a bit of problem with these monsters. Yeah. I don't really have to explain much. The size, you know, it's definitely there. And plus, these guys, these are just some plastic rims that came with the wife's Gen 8. I threw these back together. I threw my old tires on my, well, I just left my old tires on my original rims, which obviously you guys have seen in the video. These are the ones that the buddy had on there when I bought the truck. I just think they look way better with these tires. I had those other ones on for a run, but you know, they just didn't look right. It just looks too much rim. I'm a small tire or big tire to small rim ratio kind of guy. I like a lot more rubber in between that rim and the ground, you know what I'm saying? Still single stage foams in these guys that came with them. Decent though, because I mean, Proline makes these tires and they have the Proline single stage, but because the weight of my truck is way over 10 pounds, I'm finding that these things are looking pretty flat. So I'm actually going with a crawler foam here shortly. I think I get it with my servo. Hopefully they ship it at the same time. We all know how that works. They'll ship them different, separate, whatever, because they don't want to stuff boxes. I don't get it, but whatever. Anyways, that's my vidya.